Okay,
I think it works.
I think we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to one of the, if not the first, Modern tournament with some very new, exciting bannings in our format. If you're new to Modern, um, last week we've seen the ban of Faithless Looting, which was very prominent in a couple of top tier decks. We've seen the unbanning of a notorious Stoneforge Mystic, and on behalf of AMTG player, myself, Yuri Gottfried, and with me today, Jesper Box, will be covering a Team Modern tournament. Jesper, how are you?
I'm good. I think you forgot the most obvious ban that we are not talking about
The
anymore.
Hogak ban.
Yes.
What do you mean? That card never existed.
Well, I think Wizard would want you to believe that, but yeah, I'm excited for what to expect for this tournament. I did see some Magic Online yesterday. There
Mhm.
was a challenge, so we're not the first, but maybe the first team tournament. Who knows? Uh, well, that was partly, I think, I didn't see many deck lists yet, but the shake up back to old stuff. Some Grixis Dead Shadow is back from the grave. Well,
Mhm.
not like Hogak, but still back from the grave. And yeah, let's see how many people found Stoneforge Mystics.
Yeah, I think looking at the format and the previously available decks to people, what I think we'll see today is probably some sort of Stoneforge Mystics. I think the most obvious choice would be a blue-white control or blue-white mid-range deck with Stoneforge Mystics, and then the other big players I think will be Tron in some form. I'm curious to see if we'll see the classic Tron with the big Karn or the new ones with the smaller Karn and the Mycosynthelatus lock in the deck, or and the third player might be Jund. I think we've seen a rise in
Oh,
Jund, but in our country, then we're in the Netherlands right now in Eindhoven. We don't see a lot of Jund players at bigger tournaments, so
yeah, well, the Ren and 6 finally gets its time to shine with Hogak gone, I guess. It already popped up a bit
yeah.
when that was good, so that's obvious Junt card. Stoneforge Mystic also slots into, well, you could try to port some Death and Texas style deck from Legacy, but
Maybe with the Giver of Runes that we've seen
yeah,
recently printed in Modern as well.
that should be a very good card, but I think that will look more like a Devoted Druid Shell,
Okay.
because, well, the best part of Death and Texas is always the Wastelands and the Rishadan ports, and you could swap them for Ghost Quarters and Field of Runes, but that's a different mana denial strategy. Or not the mana denial strategy.
Well, we've of course seen Death and Taxes in Modern in the past with Leonin Arbiters and Ghost Quarters trying to lock you out of precious mana that you need.
Yeah, but it's not great, I think. Maybe the Eldrazi variant of
Yeah,
that
some
deck
Eldrazi and Taxes.
popped up a little bit. That was good. Obviously, Stoneforge Mystic slots right into that, but
Yeah,
really,
Eldrazi's with swords or battle skulls sound pretty scary to me.
well, well, the biggest advantage is your Eldrazi can always block a guy with a sword, right?
True,
There's no protection from colorless swords yet.
true.
Maybe that will come in Modern Masters 2, 3, 5. Where are we?
Yeah, who knows?
Um,
I
but yeah,
think
team tournament, I think it's important to mention it's the team structure like it will be in Ghent.
yes, this
So
is
not
team
unified.
modern, so indeed it's not unified, which means there are no deck building constrictions. If you would like to play triple lantern control, you are allowed to, although you'll probably see some frowns on the other side of the table if you do so.
Well, I think that's part of the appeal, right?
But yeah, what do you think of the team modern format? I think you played in Liverpool last year as well.
Yeah, Liverpool was still unified
Yes, so
constructed.
that was unified, so this
I,
is a different
yeah,
format.
I think, and Ghent, I will be playing in Ghent, and Ghent will be, well, just team modern,
Hmm.
which apparently is a thing. I personally like the unified style better,
Hmm.
just because it makes for more interesting deck building restrictions.
Yeah, I would
To
say
a
the same.
certain extent, obviously. Previous year it was pick a looting deck, pick an ancient stirrings deck, and pick
Fair.
whatever else because
Yep.
those cards are not in other decks.
Fair.
Uh, but yeah, at least it adds a layer.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I played in Liverpool as well. I'll be playing in Ghent next week as well. And for me, the team unified format was sort of a new challenge where you have to figure out between what you're comfortable with, which is something you see in modern usually, is that people, because it's such a diverse format to a certain extent, people will just play a deck that they are very familiar and comfortable with. But Team Unified brought the deck building constraint where you can only play a card in a single deck, which means that you actually have to think very carefully of maybe certain sideboard cards or how you divide fetch lands, or maybe two of your team members want that lightning bolt and you have to decide who gets it, which is quite an interesting constraint. And of course, Team Modern kind of removes that constraint and just allows you to play the same thing across tables.
It does make it easier to get a team together, right? To just find three people that play modern,
Yeah,
that like that deck. You can just play whatever. But you get into those situations where there are people who bring three times Lantern Control, or I
yeah,
guess Grixis Urza now, or some Grixis Urza with Stoneforge Mystic, whatever we're going to call that.
yeah. We'll see. We'll
Or
see.
maybe Triple Tron if you just want
Yeah, I'm
people to
curious to
feel sad.
see how much people will actually be communicating across the team this time. Because if you're allowed to just bring three experts in different decks, I'm interested in seeing how they will talk to each other about their matches and how they'll actually play as a team. Or are we in practice just playing modern, except on three tables, one on one?
I, Obviously, if you can pick the same deck, you could help each other out. But I think in general, it's a little overrated,
Hmm.
team assistance, because a large part of it you have to make your own decisions. You can't just play two matches at the same time effectively. So you will need to be at least proficient with whatever deck you play. So, but it might get easier to help people out with, especially mulligan decisions and things where you can take some time.
Yep.
Uh,
So when we were talking about Team Unified Modern last year, there was always the kind of decision, what deck do you put where? There are a lot of people that, to a certain degree of effectiveness, that can be debated, but a lot of people that were considering sort of metagaming the table, where you would put maybe a certain aggro deck in the middle, where you could have that person have provide a lot of assistance to the other team members. How do you think that will apply to this kind of format? Are you able to metagame the seedings or something? Do you think there's
I
any merit to that?
think to a certain extent that is the same thing. You want your player in the middle to be able to also focus on the other matches, right? Because that's the person that has the most chance of interaction.
Hmm.
Um, but in the end, yeah, you need to. I think, especially for GPs where one person registers, that person is usually player A,
Makes sense.
and then
Makes
the
sense.
order gets decided by which name you put in second.
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
Well, I think we're about to head into player meeting, so we will take our leaves and be right back with you for the first match of our day. I think we'll be back in approximately 5 to 10 minutes, so we'll check in with you then.